Hello everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today I bring you the LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the Week episode. Included in this video are way more than just 10 cool custom creations that I happen to see people building in LEGO bricks. There are links to everybody I'm showcasing and a whole lot more in the description. I always recommend checking out the designers' pages directly if you want to see more cool creative builds. And before I jump in, let me first just say that the custom building instructions that have popped up in the web store this week come from the designer State Alchemist. This is the life-size Master Sword as seen in the most recent Zelda games. It comes in a variety of colors, has a variety of display options, and looks pretty darn epic here in our studio. Full video also linked in the description. Now let's jump into the top 10 of the week. From Felix Jaensch, this is titled Coffee Drinker, and this certainly is a unique subject to take on in LEGO bricks. It's certainly at this size and in such great detail. This designer excels with this particular brick stacking style. He's been doing it for years. The shaping and details for the actual body is really well done. A lot goes into creating this three-dimensional staggered building technique. There are very subtle things being done here when you look close, like half studding out with jumper pieces, a bit of the lining for the sweatpants. The dark circles around the eyes look great up close, and at a distance you can also see some shaping for the teeth, beads of coffee at the end of the drip, and a whole lot more if you really want to dive deep into a big old build like this. I suppose it's up to you to decide whether or not this could be the future me or you in LEGO bricks. And we're jumping on to the next one. This is from Scott Wilhelm, and the title is Ockham's Razor. 140 studs wide. This was built for Shiptember amongst the LEGO building community. Every year, every month in September, a lot of folks try to build out a spaceship that is over 100 studs long. This is by far one of the more uniquely shaped ships that I have seen in a while. It is not just a triangle or boomerang style shaped ship, but it gets wider towards the center. There's a series of layers, smooth areas, geometric shapes, and tons of greebling in the back. It's a very, very cool model. For some reason, it reminds me of the 1980s Dune movie, but I don't know if it actually resembles any of the ships from that film. Anyways, we're jumping into a totally chaotic piece here. Really, this is actually just a series of different builds all kind of smorgasbord together for this fun series of photos from B&W Bricks. This is the ultimate Gok Droid MOC. So our Gonk is hanging out on top of a table with some strange scaling things going on when you start to look closer. There's an upscaled brick blaster at the bottom next to a regular minifigure, brick-built stormtrooper in the back, briefcase full of money, and also upscaled brick-built piece of mail. So you're kind of playing around with what size is what here. Great details though, and you can tell that this builder has just been having a lot of fun with all of their little creations recently. Some of the photos are pretty excellent. Number 7 in the lineup, even though the numbers mean nothing, is from the designer Paul. This guy goes big, this guy goes detailed, and this design here based on Encanto is no different. The Casa Madrigal magical poster. The shaping is excellent. I love the use of colors here, especially that gradation that outlines sort of behind the house, but there is something else unique happening here that you won't be able to see in its full glory unless you actually visit these links that I leave in the description below, but everything is motorized and the house itself actually comes to life, which is a totally different level of LEGO build. I can't imagine all the kinds of technic and mechanical building that had to happen behind the scenes, literally behind this MOC. Alrighty, let's jump down to a build, or well, I guess 2 builds from Blake Foster. This is Cyberpunk Locomotive, and it's a fresh take on one of the very classic subjects that LEGO builders love to build out, which is trains. This looks like the main engine of the futuristic yet retro and gritty stylized world of a cyberpunk universe. There's some wonderful angles, great use of color, an interesting series of shapes that make up sort of a layering effect for this V look on the sides. And when I mean 2 builds, not long after this one, he created the flatbed car that seems to be holding on to some type of cargo. It's got danger stickers and some strung out fig with drink, pizza, and well, a rat also eating pizza. The build details themselves are absolutely awesome though. There's a very sophisticated level of angling and cleanliness here, and if the designer stays in this train of thought, maybe we'll see a full locomotive with tons of cars in the future. Number 5 in the lineup is from Soccer Kid 6. The title is Project Azarel, another model for the month of September. Once again, incredibly unique shaping. Love the rounded ends for either end of the ship. The color highlights work well. I especially like the V shapes that we get with teal. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if you added a string from end to end and maybe an arrow, I could see us looking at a very futuristic looking bow. Anyways, that's just me. Let's take a stroll down Super Nostalgia Lane from Minifignick 2. I was initially drawn in from the Red Alert 2 Apocalypse Tank Lego MOC, but this designer has decided to play around with all of the different vehicles, or quite a lot of the different nod vehicles from Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, which is by now a very, very old game. The tank build itself is great looking. I especially like how he got the tapering, angled armor to come down in the front. Never mind the fact that there aren't Lego minifigures standing in front of this. I do believe that this whole thing is made of Lego pieces. There are just some awesome details and a fairly full universe of all of the different vehicles that you can build within the game, at least for one side. Great techniques though, brought me way back to those weird cutscenes that you got from the game. And now we're taking a stroll down Microlane from the builder Minifignick. The title is Cruising, and specifically in the description he says he's playing around with some of the new pieces that came from the latest CMF series, Series 23. So that would be the boat piece for like the boat suit person, and then the house in the snow globe that has that little print on the side of the 1x1 is being used for some detailing on the sides of these tiny little houses for the coast. Great details though, just a fun little scene, and now we're looking over at an incredibly detailed model from Ralf Langer. By the way, this is number 2 in the lineup. The title is Lavender Dream, and this falls in line with the incredibly striking shapes and imagery that you normally get from this builder. The architecture feels vaguely elven, like from Lord of the Rings, with a strange surreal vibe happening as well. The foundation of the structure is kind of dripping away, sometimes even suspended above the air. You can see it's being supported with some trans clear pieces here and there. And then beyond that, you've actually got the organic area of the model being held in a series of round shapes. The tree trunks are black and sharp, very jagged, and everything is contrasted really well with the blues for the water and the lavenders for the trees. Absolutely excellent techniques though for the detailing. And then to completely change gears to a totally different style of model, let's take a look at another amazing bit of architecture with jagged trees and lavender flowers. It really is a totally different model. It is funny that there are some similarities here in terms of subject, but that's pretty much where it all ends. From the designer Marius Herrmann, the title is Kiyohime, and talk about an epic tree build. This is a dragon, or it's a tree that looks like a dragon. So many amazing shapes make up just the dragon itself. Look at the head. There are all kinds of unique pieces just for the face. Tree trunks and tentacles and tail pieces, minifigure hair, antlers, teeth, vines, skis, backpacks. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and it feels so fluid, and it's got all this energy, and it wraps around this wonderful looking pagoda. The colors contrast with each other in a really striking way. The base of the tree is nestled into the bottom of the ground there. It really does look like it is it's been there forever. From large concept to just the tiniest detail, this is just a truly epic Lego model in every sense of the word. And that is it for my personal favorite top 10 of the week. And for some quick honorable mentions, Orange Team Lug has this amazing diorama. I believe we're looking at the library from Beauty and the Beast. Umbra Manis built Family Memories camera, and this is a fun little series of builds of not just a Brickon, not Nikon, Brickon camera, and some vignettes of memories captured with it. Graham Goodman built Wandering Skies concept art. The designer Sylvan built Team Explorer Class 910, and it's a great modern approach in terms of building techniques for the classic space color combo, while Shannon Sproul has a September build of the NSCFX Sweeper, which is sort of a massive love letter to the old school building concepts from the old classic space line. There definitely are some advanced sophisticated stuff built underneath, but the old school layering style with lots of slope bricks I believe is there to mimic the old school way these ships were built out in the original sets. Anders Horvath has a Yavin 4 diorama, just a piece of the temple and some of the ships on the main base. If you have the time, check out the full video from Rocco Butler. This is a time lapse of him building out the Roman Colosseum in micro scale. And lastly, Nicholas Goodman has a great little diorama of the streets of Mos Eisley. And all right, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If you enjoy our content, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share the video, do whatever it is that you want to do. And we'll see you next time at BrickVault.